transfer with the help of vectors. Those vectors are nothing but bacteria in plant cells and retrovirus in animal cells. In bacteria, Agrobacterium tumefaciens, which is having tumor-inducing plasmid and capable to deliver genes into the plants to produce tumors. In those tumors, whatever chemical it wants to synthesize, it will synthesize and it will take. So the art of delivering genes into plants is studied in Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So Agrobacterium tumefaciens is directly used as vector for cloning genes in plants. Next, in animals, retrovirus, we have seen it is causing cancerous cells. Whenever retrovirus infect an animal body into the animal cell, it will transfer some of its genes or DNA, with which the animal cells multiply vigorously, uncontrolledly to form tumors. These are nothing but cancerous cells, malignant tumors. So here both retrovirus in the case of animals and Agrobacterium tumefaciens in the case of plants are pathogenic organisms. They were delivering the genes. Now in biotechnology, with the knowledge gained in this area of transferring the genes, our scientists made these harmful organisms into useful organisms, and they are using them as vectors, tools for transferring the genes, because their ability to transfer the genes into the animals and plants. Now we are going to cut and remove the pathogenic factor in that plasmid, in those genes, and add gene of interest. Removal of pathogenic factor or virulent regions and addition of our genes. Like that, we can incorporate whichever genes we want by using these organisms as vectors. Now, vectorless gene transfer. In the NCERT book, vectorless gene transfer is explained under competent host. Competent host for transformation. So what is meant by competent host? See here, gene of interest which is having sticky ends, gene of interest or desirable gene, is ready here, which is isolated from some DNA and cutted and separated out. In the same way, we have received a plasmid from some source, or we constructed a plasmid, and in this plasmid we use the same enzyme which we used here. When the same restriction endonuclease enzyme is used, how? This is nothing but the DNA source. In this DNA, a particular area is called gene. When we use the restriction endonuclease, it will cut this area and remove this piece. Same piece of DNA or gene of interest, alien DNA, or it is going to attach to the vector plasmid. So it is a passenger DNA. It is also having its own sequences. When a particular restriction endonuclease is used, it will become open like this with sticky ends. Like this. When same restriction endonuclease is used both for the source DNA and to the plasmid DNA. Same sequences will be there. They will recognize the same sequences. They will cut in such a way where only at those recognition sequences or restriction sequences or palindromic sequences, they will give sticky ends, and these two are ligation, joined with the help of ligase. Now we are able to identify a recombinant DNA with combined characteristic features. Combined characteristic features. Some are having extensions, some are having these, some are having extensions, some are having these. So this is called a recombinant DNA. For example, this is ready. When a recombinant DNA, or it is also called vector plasmid, which is carrying the gene of interest, there should be some host cell. It has to be some host cell should be there. Which host? Maybe it is a bacteria, or maybe it is a plant, maybe it is an animal cell, plant cell or animal cell. Any cell is called host. Generally, the host which we are using in biotechnology, bacterial cell. For example, this is bacterial cell is the host. It is having its own bacterial DNA or bacterial chromosome. Some host cell, generally bacteria. Bacterial cell is having cell wall. Inside it is having cell membrane. Inside it is having its DNA, cytoplasm, ribosomes, without any double membrane cell organelles. So the process of transferring the gene with the help of vector, that is this recombinant DNA. We are not using vector like Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Agrobacterium tumefaciens is the direct vector, or retrovirus is the direct vector. Here without any vector, vectorless means we are not using Agrobacterium tumefaciens and we are not using retroviruses. We are using a DNA which is called plasmid DNA, and it is ligated with a gene and it has to be entered into the host cell. Here so many methods are there. First we have to make the cell wall. This host cell is not ready to take the DNA. This host cell is not ready to take the DNA. We have to make this, we have to force this host cell to take up the DNA. We have to force, we have to make this host cell to take up the DNA. Generally, the methods are by applying electricity, electroporation, high voltage electric impulse, make pores, or make pores for short time. In the cell walls, or by using chemicals like divalent cations of calcium. If you use this host and this incubated in a culture medium with divalent cation calcium by electric impulse, it will make the pores transient pores. For short time pores will appear, they will be easily, readily enters. After that, biological membranes are there. This is called cell membrane. Cell membrane is made up of phospholipid bilayer. Phospholipid bilayer. From here, if DNA has to go, it cannot be accepted by the cell membrane to go inside. DNA is a hydrophilic molecule. DNA is hydrophilic in nature. What is hydrophilic? Because it is having sugar plus phosphate backbone. So it is a polar molecule. Polar molecule easily dissolved in water. So it cannot go. And bilipid, these are called hydrophobic. So hydrophilic substance DNA cannot pass through the hydrophobic bilayer. So it is difficult, and also the size of the DNA is not sufficient enough to go through that. It is large in size, macromolecule, to pass through this. That's why it is compulsory. We have to make the host cell competent. Competent means to get ready to take up the recombinant DNA or plasmid having gene of interest. How we are making electroporation, we are making poles in the walls. After this, to pass through the membranes, here it has to be incubated. For in extreme conditions, that is ice. So the recombinant DNA or the plasmid DNA and the host cell, both are incubated for some time in ice. First step. After the ice, they were subjected to 42 degrees centigrade heat shock for short period, brief period. First ice, then 42 degrees heat shock, again ice. So they were alternately first ice, then to heat. Temperature is low temperatures, high temperatures, again low temperatures. When these two structures, that is DNA and the host cell, are incubated in these, it makes the membranes will become porous in nature. These membranes will allow the movement of DNA. This process of making easily, efficiently, it is able to take up the DNA efficiently when it is exposed to either electric currents, or to the chemicals like divalent, after exposing to extreme conditions of temperature like ice and 42 degrees centigrade temperature. Ice means low temperatures. 42 when compared to ice, it is high temperatures. Again, so biological membranes are able to show fluctuations, pores in their hydrophobic tails. Through these hydrophobic tails, when it makes a pore, then DNA is allowed inside. The process of entry of, so competent host means we are forcing the host cell to take the DNA by various methods. First of all, electroporation, or by chemicals like calcium, and subjecting the DNA and the host cell to extreme conditions, low and high conditions. Next, some other methods are there. which are called, this is used in bacterial cells. The entry of DNA into a bacterial cell, into animal cells. If you want to inject this in an animal cell, there is no cell wall, cell membrane. With the help of a process called microinjection, so the method or the process or the technique by which a vector DNA or a plasmid having alien DNA, piece of DNA or gene of interest can be introduced into a animal cell directly into the nucleus. In vitro, in the laboratory, by using micropipettes and microneedles. Micropipette and microneedles. This is a separate technique. The knowledge regarding this technique is beyond the scope of this textbook. Here, scope of the knowledge of PUC students. This is by a method called microinjection in animal cells directly entered into the nucleus. Microinjection, microneedles, micropipettes are there, a separate process. So, without using any Agrobacterium tumefaciens as vector, without using any retrovirus as vector, microinjection, direct insertion or transfer of a DNA into the nucleus of animal cell. And again, some other methods are specific in plants. In plants, some other method is used, is called biolistics method. Or gene gun method. Or particle bombardment method. So, in bacterial cells, electroporation, divalent cations and extreme conditions. In animal cells, microinjection, with which the host will take the DNA. In plants, some other methods is called biolistics method or gene gun method, where some special device is there which is having cylinders, gas cylinders, which are sealed, and vacuum is here. In this gas, helium gas is there, and they have selected particles, gold or tungsten, micro pellets of gold or tungsten, micro pellets. and micropellets, they were coated with DNA. Micropellets of gold and maybe gold or tungsten are used here. These micropellets are covered with, coated with DNA. Which DNA? This one. A DNA which is called, or it is directly with the helium gas is released with certain force, it will hit the particles. These particles are going to bombard with plant cells. Plant cells. So many plant cells are there with a high velocity. When helium gas is released, it is going to hit the gold pellets or tungsten pellets having DNA. When they were bombarded to the plant cells, bombardment, hitting. That's why this is called like a gun with a piston. It will releases the bullet like that. The pellets are released and hit the target cells. Out of the 100, some cells may get incorporated. They are able to take the, some may not take. They are called transformed cells. A bacterial cell which is transformed cell. Animal cell which is transformed cell after getting the a plant cell. So here there are various types of methods by which we are making the host cell competent to become participated in the competition, to become competent, get ready for competition. What is competition here? To taking the DNA inside the cell is called competent. And the last method, the page they have given, the last method using disarmed vectors. The last method is by using disarmed vectors, disarmed pathogens. In the textbook, last point they have given. So 4 different types of ways to make the host cell competent. Competent here means get ready, it is ready, sufficient enough to take the DNA, because normally DNA cannot be taken by cells, because cells are having cell walls and cell membranes. Cell membranes are having bilipid layers which are having hydrophilic heads, hydrophobic tails, and hydrophilic and hydrophobic cannot be joined to, they will be separated. So DNA cannot be taken in. That's why we are forcing them either by micro injection or by bombardment, biologistics gun or gene gun, or by electroporation by making the holes, or by using the chemicals. Or disarmed pathogens are taken as carriers which will carry the gene of interest into the host organisms. Now with this, the total, all the tools in the genetic engineering or recombinant DNA technology we have completed. Then process of recombinant DNA technology in a sequential steps, in the form of a sequential sequence, in a sequence, stepwise process of recombinant DNA technology. Let us take So sequential are in a sequence various steps that are involved in the process of recombinant DNA technology. First step, isolation of DNA from some source, whichever source may be plant, animal, prokaryotic source or eukaryotic source. Digestion of DNA by restriction endonucleases. Isolation of desired DNA fragment ligation of DNA fragment with a suitable vector to produce recombinant DNA. Transfer of recombinant DNA into a host cell. The process is called transformation. Culturing the host cells in medium, culture medium in large scale, or culturing the host cells on large scale in culture medium. Extraction of the desired product. So these are the steps under the stepwise or sequences of steps in the process of recombinant DNA technology. Now let us see, already we have seen all these except the last two. Again, revelation, isolation of DNA. First step, it seems to be simple but a complicated process. Generally, in most of the organisms, almost organisms, the genetic material is nothing but DNA. And where this genetic material is present, it is present in the chromosomes, in the nucleus, where nucleus in the cell, in the cytoplasm. A cell may be having cell wall or it may not be having cell wall. Plant cells are having cell wall, bacterial cells are having cell wall, even fungal cells are having cell wall, animal cells are not having cell wall. So when DNA, which is the genetic material present inside the cell, which is associated with various membranes of various cell organelles, nuclear membranes, chromosome, whichever, and they are mixed with so many other macromolecules. What are those other macromolecules? DNA is present inside the cells enveloped with various membranes and other macromolecules like various membranes here, cell wall also, cell wall and membranes like RNA, proteins, polysaccharides and lipids along with DNA. So if DNA is the first one, second, third, fourth, five different types of macromolecules are present along with various membranes and cell wall if cell wall is present. If cell wall is absent, only cell membrane. So if we want to do recombinant DNA technology, we have to get the DNA in pure form. In pure form, only DNA if it is available, then we will supply restriction endonuclease enzymes to cut them into various fragments. So for the digestion with enzymes, a DNA which should be in pure form is required. For this process, we have to do first thing, dissolve the cell wall. Major thing. After dissolving the cell wall, if present. So here, what are those enzymes which are responsible for breaking the cell walls or resolving the cell walls or removing the cell walls? Dissolve the cell wall if present. For example, if we have taken bacterial cells, source of DNA, if we want to get DNA from the bacterial cells, bacterial cell is having cell wall. This cell wall is made up of peptidoglycans. This peptidoglycan cell wall can be broken down by using lysozyme enzyme. So if we want to remove the DNA of bacteria, we have to break the bacterial cell wall, we have to open the cell wall, we have to remove all the other things one by one, one by one. First thing is to dissolve the cell wall if present. Bacterial cell wall can be degraded, removed, cut and opened by lysozyme enzyme. If it is a plant cell, the plant cell wall is made up of cellulose or pectin. So to cut and open, to break and open, to release the DNA, we need cellulases or pectinases, whichever is required. We can use cellulases or the enzymes, or pectinases or the enzymes by which we can open the plant cell wall. If it is a fungal mycelium or fungal hyphae, it is made up of chitin. The fungal cell wall is made up of chitinase. Is the enzyme. So animal cells do not possess cell walls, so there is no need of breaking the cell walls. So in the first step, that is isolation of DNA, for the recombinant DNA technology process, we have to remove the DNA. To remove the DNA which is incorporated inside the cell, first thing is, if it is having a cell wall, we have to break the cell wall. If a bacterial cell is there, lysozyme. If a plant cell is there, cellulases or pectinases. If fungal cell is there, body is made up of chitin, cellulose, peptidoglycans. So once cell wall is removed, the major other macromolecules. So what are the other macromolecules? RNA, proteins. So RNA can be removed. Ribonucleic acid can be removed by using RNases. RNases, which are the enzymes, they will cut and remove the RNA. If to remove proteins, because DNA is nothing but genetic material made up of thread-like structures. On this DNA, at any place genes are present, we want that gene. Source of gene is from DNA, isolated DNA. So this DNA is again wrapped around the histone protein molecules. Histone proteins, 4 pairs of 8 histone proteins are there, and extra H1 protein is outside the linker DNA. So to remove the proteins can be removed by proteases, the enzymes which will cut and remove the proteins. RNA can be removed by RNases, proteins can be removed by proteases. The other molecules like polysaccharides and lipids, appropriate treatments. In the book they have mentioned appropriate treatments. It means amylases and lipases. Appropriate treatments. So by using all these one by one, we are going to remove all the macromolecules which are associated with the DNA. And finally, pure DNA can be precipitated by adding chilled ethanol. So these are conducting in the test tube or a conical flask, large mouth test tube, where the suspension is there. We have removed, we have grinded the cells, whether bacterial cells or plant cells are. We used so many cells, we removed one by one by dropping the lysosomes if it is bacterial cell plant. After that, different molecules are, they were centrifuged, ultra centrifuged. Finally, we are going to add chilled ethanol. In the chilled ethanol, DNA, it is observed like fine threads. We cannot see that, but so many threads are obtained by winding with the help of a stirrer or by spooling process or winding process. So my dear students, isolation of DNA. Few years back it was asked as a 5-mark question in PUC syllabus. Isolation of DNA. For this you have to write this paragraph. When you take this paragraph from the textbook and read, you will get one by one stepwise process. DNA, for proteins, polysaccharides, lipids, RNA, various cells, they are mentioned in the textbook. RNA can be removed, proteins can be removed, appropriate treatments. Finally, pure DNA can be precipitated after the addition of chilled ethanol. So in ethanol only we are able to get the, by a process with the help of a stirrer, we will take this spooling process or winding process. It looks like fine threads. So they may ask this question for any of the compound. Chilled ethanol is the medium. in the suspension where DNA is available in the form of pure state. Second, to this pure form of DNA, we are going to go for the second by using restriction endonuclease enzymes. Here, they have used second, third and fourth steps in a single step. That is digestion with restriction endonuclease enzymes. We have already studied this. Whenever DNA is isolated, pure state, whenever a specific second step, restriction endonuclease enzyme is incubated with DNA in a medium, restriction endonuclease enzyme plus DNA. So, for example, specific enzyme, every specific enzyme is having optimum temperatures, optimum temperature conditions. Restriction endonuclease enzyme plus optimal temperature plus DNA. When they were incubated, and this restriction endonuclease is going to cut at specific places which are called palindromic sequences, which are called restriction sites, which are called recognition sequences for these enzymes, specific. So various fragments of various lengths, restriction fragment length polymorphism, and the progression of how they were progressed, how many fragments are made. It cut into fragments of various lengths which can be separated by electrophoresis. In the electrophoresis, DNA is negatively charged. Cathode, it will move to positively charged anode. Positively charged electrode is anode here. So they will be moving based upon their length and the charge. Smaller fragments move further, larger fragments will be near the well, and by a method of elution, by the method of elution process, we are able to select and identify the gene of interest or the fragment which is nothing but a gene. Elution to identify and pick gene of interest in the form of fragment. While doing this, the same is repeated with the plasmid, suitable plasmid which is used as vector. The same is used. So same restriction endonuclease, same is repeated with a plasmid which is used as vector. So a plasmid which is round in shape, by using the same enzyme, it will become opened. With sticky ends. So plasmid which is used as vector. Restriction endonuclease will cut. Third step, selection of the identification of the gene. Fourth step, same here, the gene of interest gene is attached to by a process called ligation with the help of DNA ligase. DNA ligase. So, my dear students, in the NCERT book, first step isolation they have given. At the end of that page turn, second step they used restriction fragment length, that is digestion with restriction endonucleases. In that they have given two paragraphs. In the first paragraph they have given how to separate and how to get the piece of DNA. In the second paragraph they have given how to ligation with the help of DNA ligase. Now within this we can go for the second, fourth, fifth step, that is transferring into a host. But our scientists observed when the process of DNA, recombinant DNA technology is going on, if the available piece of DNA which is isolated by this process, first step isolation of DNA, after that cutting the DNA, after that by elution we are able to take a particular piece of DNA which is called gene of interest. Here they thought if it is required, this piece of DNA or gene of interest can be multiplied, can be amplified into many copies, thousands, millions, and approximately 1 billion copies in a day. So the process of, if it is required, otherwise normally we will go for the recombinant DNA. If the piece of DNA is required in large quantities for the multiplication of piece of DNA or amplification of piece of DNA into many number of copies, there is a special reaction which is called polymerase chain reaction. Here, for the multiplication or amplification of a particular DNA fragment. What is this DNA fragment? It is nothing but gene of interest or gene of interest. One should go for PCR technique. PCR technique stands for polymerase chain reactions. Polymerase chain reactions. A special technique with the help of some polymerase, specific polymerase enzymes, reactions, chains of reactions, not one cycle, very many cycles of reactions carried out in a special device, thermocycler, DNA thermocycler, which was developed by Kary Mullis in 85. Kary Mullis, 1985, and he observed 1993 got Nobel Prize for chemistry. He was the first to define this device. The device is called DNA thermal cycler. DNA thermal cycler, a machine. So they are going to get multiple copies of a single DNA piece, gene of interest, for various other purposes if they want, if they required. For many purposes, they can clone, a process multiplication, amplification in less time. So we will see in the next class PCR technique of amplification of gene of interest.